inshallah. And tonight's notable is another founder of another school of jurisprudence, the Shafi'i school of jurisprudence. So our notable is Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i. He was born in the year 150 Hijri. So it is the same year where Abu Hanifa passed away. Abu Hanifa, the founder of the Hanafi school of jurisprudence. He was born in Gaza. He was born in Gaza. And he was an orphan as a kid. And he went with his mother to Mecca. So he grew up as an orphan, as a poor kid. But he was very smart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a lot of intelligence. He memorized the Quran when he was 7 years old. And he memorized Al-Muwatta, the book that Imam Malik authored, when he was 10 years old. And last time we talked about when he met Imam Malik. Imam Malik told him, Ya Muhammad, he gave him advice. He told him, Ya Muhammad, ittaqillah wajtanib al-ma'asi. Fear Allah and stay away from disobediences. فَإِنَّهُ سَيَكُونُ لَكَ شَأْنٌ عَظِيمٌ. Because you are going to have your matter is going to be great. SubhanAllah, the believer has a firasa, has an intuition. And Imam Malik had an intuition. He saw him, when he saw him, he saw, all this knowledge that he had at a very young age. He said, you're gonna go places. And indeed, Imam Shafi'i went places. So Imam Malik was one of the main teachers of Imam Shafi'i, and of the main students of Imam Shafi'i was Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, the founder of the Hanbali school of jurisprudence. And it is narrated that one time Imam Shafi'i stayed at the house of Imam Ahmad. And Imam Ahmad was observing him. These people, all they care about is knowledge. They're so close to their teachers, they just want to, learn everything. So he observed that he ate very little. Imam Shafi'i ate very little. And then he also observed that he slept the whole night. He did not get up for the night prayer. And then he also observed that when he got up and prayed, maybe Fajr, he didn't make wudu. So Imam Ahmad was perplexed by that. And he told him, I have to ask you this. How come you ate very little and you slept the whole night and then you didn't make wudu? He said, I ate little because I didn't want to burden you. And I did not sleep the whole night. I was solving problems of jurisprudence in my mind, So that was my qiyam, that was my night prayer. I was solving these problems of jurisprudence. And then I got up and I prayed because I did not sleep to invalidate my wudu. Also, Imam Shafi'i said what means that you should eat not to your fulfillment. You should not get full when you eat. Because if you do that, it's going to make your body heavy, and it's going to make your heart hard, and it's going to make your brain less intelligent. Yeah. And he also said, العلم ما نفع ليس العلم ما حفظ. That knowledge is what is beneficial. Knowledge is not simply memorization, right? So, of course, for example, memorizing the Quran is important, of course, but a lot of people just stop there, right? You have to memorize the Quran, you have to understand what you memorized, and then you have to apply it. All of these three things are important. You can't stop at the memorization, you can't stop at the understanding, you have to take it all the way through to the application. When he used qiyas a lot. Qiyas is analogical deduction. So, if, for example, drugs were not known at the time of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but he said that drugs are haram. They're unlawful. Why? Because he looked at the verse, يا أيها الذين آمنوا in Surah Al-Ma'idah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إنما الخمر والميسير والأنصاب والأزلام رجس من عمل الشيطان فاجتنبوه لعلكم تفلحون. And then the next verse, إنما يريد الشيطان, that the devil wants to, with the alcohol, with the intoxicants, and with gambling, he wants to stray you away from the remembrance of Allah and prayer, right? So he said, his reasoning was that this is the reason why intoxicants, alcohol is haram, because it takes you away from the remembrance of Allah and the prayer, and that's exactly what drugs do. So he made qiyas on that. And there's many other examples. For example, another example is if you take a loan from someone and then you return that loan, but then you give a gift on top of that loan. He said that's not allowed. That is riba, that is usury. Because the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, كل قرض يجر إلى منفعة فهو ربا أو كما قال. يعني every loan that brings a benefit is usury. So he used qiyas or analogical deduction. It is said that on his deathbed, someone asked him, Ya Imam, kayfa asbaht? Oh Imam, how are you doing? So he said, أصبحت من الدنيا راحلة للإخوان مفارقة وإلى سوء عملي ملاقية وإلى ربي واقفة أو واردة وإلى ربي وعلى الله واردة ولا أدري إلى الجنة يساق بي فأهنأ أم إلى النار فأعزى. He said, I have awakened departing this world and parting ways with my brothers and going towards my bad deeds. This is a humble man. This is Imam Shafi. Doesn't have a lot of bad deeds, but he's being humble. And to stand before Allah. And I don't know if I will be taken to heaven to rejoice or I will be taken to fire to be consoled. And then he cried and he says some poetry. He was very good with poetry. He was a master of the Arabic language. And he actually went to the desert to learn from the Arabs, the pure Arabic language. And by the way, he shares lineage with the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, in Abdu Manaf. So Abdu Manaf is an ancestor for both the Prophet ﷺ and Shafi. And he was from Quraysh, which is the best tribe in Mecca. And he said some verses of poetry. And he said, وَلَمَّا قَسَى قَلْبِي وَضَاقَتْ مَذَاهِبِي. That when my heart hardened and my ways became restricted, that he went to Allah with hope, but then he saw that his sins were immense. But then he compared his immense sins with the forgiveness of Allah, and he saw that the forgiveness of Allah is much greater than his sins. This is Imam Shafi, rahimallahu hada al-Imam wa askanahu fasiha jannatih. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive this Imam and admit him into paradise. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us better followers of his book and the guidance of his Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Jazakumullah khair.